Hello, and welcome to Practical Penmanship. Today we'll be looking at the Faber-Castell Loom. Now, before we begin, I'd like to talk about a little bit why I started this channel. See, I am a high schooler. I use fountain pens in my everyday life as well as my hobby. And over the years, I've learned a few things of what doesn't work well for this purpose. A lot of pens really seem like they're for decoration, but I'm interested in what's practical. So, without further ado, let's begin. Taking a look at the Faber-Castell Loom, which is an entry level from the German maker Faber-Castell, you'll see that it's made out of aluminum and the cap is plastic. There are several variations of the loom, ranging from a gunmetal to several different cap colors and a shiny aluminum barrel. Taking a closer look at the cap of the pen, you'll see the words Faber-Castell since 1761, along with their logo, which is also on the finial, which is part of the clip. The clip is a very sturdy metal spring-loaded clip designed with, as you can see, a lot of spring, and it does a very good job of clipping on to things and staying on, especially larger items like jeans. At the end of the barrel, you'll see this little dimple, which I rather like. And capping the pen, you'll notice, again, an aluminum section and these little rings, which help to aid grip. I don't find this pen particularly slippery, but sometimes it does feel a little bit. But it's not as bad as some other pens. Let's take a look at some measurements and comparisons. From my left to my right is the Faber-Castell Loom, the Lamy Safari, the Lamy ABC, the Pilot Metropolitan, the Pilot Plumix, and the lowly Platinum Property, although it's a very nice pen. Alright, if you compare it to the Safari, you'll see that the Safari is quite a bit longer. If we look at the grip sections, you'll see the Safari has this interesting triangular grip. It's not for everyone. I personally don't mind. If we break out the scale, and while that's waiting, let's compare it to the ABC I have over here, which is a slightly cheaper pen. As you can see, they're actually pretty similar. They're quite chunky, but again, if we uncap the pens, you see that the ABC has a similar grip to the Lamy Safari, although it's thicker. Of note, you cannot post the ABC. So let's get some weight measurements on the loom before we compare it to other pens. Alright, uncapped, which we can get to stay still within frame, 25.3 grams, and capped 31.8 grams, which is heavier than pretty much every pen in this comparison, but quite a bit. Personally, I don't really mind the weight too much, although I'd much prefer a lighter pen. Although I would not post this pen. I personally got this pen from a pen shop where they post the pens, and from what I've seen, the cap spring just gave out on some of the pens that they had posted for a while, and they could no longer cap. So if you're going to post a pen, do it lightly. Don't damage it. Compared to the Plumix here, well, the squid, as it's affectionately called. Well, the Plumix definitely has a pretty unique design. You know, it has a screw-off cap and this long tapered barrel with these, whatever you call them, that kind of makes it look like a glass tip pen. I find this more comfortable than the Safari and the Loom, I guess, because I really like the weight. It's a very lightweight pen. Preppy, It's just a very good, cheap pen. It's very nice for the price you pay. And the Metro, yeah, it's a pretty good pen, but what I don't like about it is the very narrow grip section. Right. Let's look at the Loom more in depth now. Alright, welcome back, folks. We're going to be doing the right example of the Loom now. So the ink today is Sailor Yamadori. Let me pull that up. Here's the box. It's a lovely teal ink. It has a great amount of shading and this wonderful red sheen. Bottle it comes in. Although I do very much like this ink, it is a quite heavily saturated ink, and sometimes it does have trouble in some pens with drying out on the nib. But anyway, so you can see. And we have a hard start. It's partially the ink, I would say, but... And the nib we have today is a medium nib. Faber-Castell Loom has a very nice, smooth, medium nib. I honestly prefer finer nibs, so when I bought this pen, I wasn't really into those, but I've really changed my preferences. I find them better for all types of paper situations. Sorry, I kicked the tripod. It's a very well-tuned nib, I'd say most of the time. Sometimes there is the occasional hard start, but it's not really enough to bother me. I'd say wetness is on the medium side. And because I guess it's required by pretty much every pen review, I must do this. Just let you see that. Oh, focus. Let's tilt you that way. You can't really see the color. Oh well. Anyway, let's see. Was it going to hard start? Nope. Did pretty alright. I mean, it's really not that big of an issue, but if I were going to modify this pen, I would definitely take a little bit of micro mesh because I think it might be baby's bottom. Let me show you the nib, which by the way is removable. It's made by Bach. The feed. Just a standard plastic feed. This is a rodeo pad, I forgot to mention. Wait, before we ink out the pen, I forgot to talk about the filling system. It's a cartridge converter filling system, although I don't find that many converters or cartridges hold particularly well in this pen. This particular Schmidt converter is alright. There are some that fit better, but though. Slightly squeaky, but they're nice quality threads. Taking one more look at the exterior of the pen. And under the clip, it says China 3 and R, which I assume are the manufacturing specifics. Overall, I think it's a very good pen for $40, especially if you prefer a heavier pen. Although it does sometimes hard start, it seems to me that Faber-Castell's nibs have a very good reputation for being smooth and they write well. I think this is a great pen for what it is, and I would highly recommend it. Here's the drawing I made for the thumbnail. Again, with the Faber-Castell Loom with Yamadori. You can see some of the sheen of Yamadori. It's really lovely. See you next time. Bye.